Hi there, my name's Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel, back home from the Modern Museum, and we have a lot to talk about. Last week you saw a few off-the-cuff live streams, and also, of course, the main live stream, which we're going to talk about in some detail, but there's a lot of things you didn't see last week. I was there from 9 a.m. until they kicked us out around, 5 p.m. or something, and I saw and had a lot of thoughts that day I want to share with you, and what a great time to take more questions as well. Last week it was very hard to take the questions during the stream. So if you've got any thoughts or questions about last week's stream, then let me know. And I'll bring on my partner this week, who was filming last week behind the camera, Maury. How you doing, Maury? Are you recovered?
No, I'm so tired. That was so much fun, but it was so much work. But days like that are so much fun. You don't even really understand and realize it until you get home and you hit the couch. And I mean, I could only know what you guys feel like making a longer trip than I made, but it was a lot of hard work, and I'm glad we got to do it.
I don't think I really recovered until maybe today, if I am recovered. And I'm certainly not complaining, but I want to give everyone the full story of what happened that day. I couldn't sleep the day before we went. I couldn't get to sleep. I was so excited, and I had so many thoughts running around my head about what the day was going to be like. I don't think I went to sleep until 3 a.m. And I woke up at 5 a.m. to get there at 9 a.m. So I was really. Is this good or bad, Maury? I was impressed with how excited I still am. Even though I've been to the museum several times, I've been to the factory many times. You know how obsessed I am with guitars. I was still like a kid in the candy shop to go there. And of course, playing the guitars in person was a whole new level. And having Robert there to guide us as well, and Jason, of course. And then I ran into Skip, and we ran into Thomas as well, didn't we? It was great. Yes. I love when you're at a place like that and you just run into people and you have these conversations. That's one reason why I go to like the NAMM show and hang out all day long. Some people say I'm crazy because they get bored. But what happens is when you hang out somewhere all day long, you run into people and you meet a new person and you get someone's card and you have a conversation with someone and you see something that you may have not seen otherwise. So I certainly got that day, but it certainly wore me out, and we were filming all day, weren't we? We made some other videos that haven't been shown yet. There's lots of B-roll to come. One of those was the comparison of the custom shop and the John Mayer guitar, which is up on my channel, and we're going to talk about that in more detail today, as well as some other things that we played. And I've got a lot of thoughts now. I hadn't really played vintage guitars. Now I've played those actual vintage guitars. I have all these fresh thoughts, and I want to talk about it today on the stream. Now we've got no interruptions. I just want to say, first of all, some housekeeping. I want to say thank you for everyone's generosity. This week I had S. Willis and Mark Henry bought me a coffee. And a big shout out as well to David Belcher. He sent gas money for that trip as well. I really appreciate it. Yeah, really appreciate it, David. David's such a great supporter of the channel. And I've said before, I'd like to do more road trips like that. I've got an idea maybe to go to Fishman up in Boston and things like that. So I want to make it clear that those donations are going to go into things like that to give more content for the viewers. And I really appreciate it. I also appreciate that we did our first fundraiser. I've never done a YouTube fundraiser before. And with that, all the super chats went straight to the cancer research charity through YouTube. I didn't have to do anything about it. All the money went straight there, and I was blown away because we had all these donations come in before we even went live, which was again so generous. Unfortunately, when we lost the stream, we then lost that ability for people to donate further. But over the week, it did hit exactly $200, which is just an amount that I set for that fundraiser. So we got to play some great guitars, have some great conversation with people, and we raised $200 for charity as well. So I'd say it was a pretty successful trip, Maury. I think that was great.
It really was, and we like to joke around a lot with this chat, but I'll take the same opportunity to say we just said thank you very much for your generosity. We have a lot of really good people here week to week, a lot of people who are here every single time, and to do something like that and to give us some donations. If I remember right, and that's part of the chaos that was last Monday, I'm not even sure that people who donated the super chats even asked any questions. It was just here's some money for the fund, and we really appreciate you doing that. Really. Right.
Yeah. The idea was to expedite comments because I knew under the pressure. I mean, it's pressure even like now, right? We're live streaming, but when you're in a new place, streaming remotely and you've got Jason, and then Skip walked in and he came up, and I'm trying not to be rude, but I want to get people on stage, and I'm trying to think what I'm going to say about the guitar. And of course, there was a whole new thing with those guitars. Some of them were not able to be tuned very well, and that added stress too, because I really wanted to play all the guitars, but some of the guitars I just couldn't get to the place. Like when I make reviews here, I sit there and tune. I put new strings on, I clean the guitar, I tune it meticulously, and then I record it. But at the museum like that, it was so kind of off the cuff. So I just knew I wouldn't be able to keep up with the chat. So the idea was to get those chats through, and we didn't even get any questions. We just got people's generosity. But please today, feel free to ask actual specific questions about that trip, because like I said, I have a lot of thoughts about it. And if you've had any thoughts from last week, feel free to bring them up. Or if I say anything today that you want further information on, let me know, because I tell you, I've played a lot of guitars in my life, but to actually play those guitars was a very unique experience, I felt. Not just with the history, but also the guitars themselves. I'd never played a 1937 Martin, and now I have thoughts about those guitars compared to, say, the Authentics or even the Standard Series. And I want to go into some detail about that today and kind of geek out on that stuff. But that was really awesome. So I'm going to give everyone a round of applause for raising $200 for charity. And I think it's something I'd like to do in the future as well. I think it's a nice way to give back. All right, so that's great.
Absolutely.
Now, before we say hi to our friends in the chat, let's just start by addressing what happened that day. I'm going to fill people in. We originally said 4 p.m. because we normally go live at 4 p.m. But I chatted with some people that said we should go live earlier because they close at 5. And I agreed. I thought we need time to look at all these guitars. So I then changed the time to earlier, but the time wasn't relayed to everybody there, and that meant we couldn't actually start at 3:30. So first of all, my apologies. That's why we started late. There was no technical problem. We were just waiting for everyone to be ready to begin. And that's why I was trying to let everyone know in the chat what was happening. Then unfortunately, after 5 minutes, we did lose the stream. I think that was something to do with the Wi-Fi. And again, when you go live, I'm actually on Wi-Fi right now, but knock on wood, the Wi-Fi here is pretty stable. And whenever you go live streaming, you want to use a physical cable. We don't want to rely on Wi-Fi. We all know that Wi-Fi can cut out, right? So the Wi-Fi cut out that day, and then Maury jumped over to his hotspot, which was then fine. So in hindsight, Maury, we would have started on time or played some B-roll, which I had on hand. I didn't upload it to your machine. And then we would have used maybe the hotspot connection or a wired connection, and it would have gone much smoother. But regardless, I felt like the content went really well, and it's now up to watch after the fact. So on my channel, you've got like a 3-minute video and then the whole video, which you can just click between. And then Maury has the whole thing as one, which is time-stamped. So if you did miss it or you want to watch it again without that stress of wondering where we're going to start, you can do that. But hindsight is a wonderful thing, but I think overall, Maury, it went really well. I'm really happy with the content that came out from the thing in general, and there's always things to learn with this stuff, right? So I'm really.
And I agree with you, and I want to take an opportunity, if I could, on the Maury's music side of things. When we restreamed the very beginning, everything was doing well. When the stream failed and we had to put it back up the second time, it didn't go up to Maury's Music's YouTube. So right. I apologize to those people watching on Maury's Music's YouTube. I got some comments like, where to go? And they didn't know to go to look at your channel. And I didn't get the opportunity to field those questions until that evening, the next day. So I had a couple of people. I got a good comment that was like, I hope your products and services are better than this. And, they are. But I learned we did everything we could to be pre-production. We tried to get ahead of all the problems. I probably should have started the whole stream on the hotspot. That way, if the Wi-Fi was going to fail, it couldn't hurt us. Right. But I thought the Wi-Fi speed would be better, and I'd be doing a disservice if we don't try to make advantage of the fast connection. And now that it's all over, I really learned a lot of the things I'd like to do differently. So I'd like to ask you in person, can we go back?
If they'll let us, yes. I mean, like I said, I only played about 6 of the. There's so many guitars that I didn't play. We didn't play, and yeah, you're right. I mean, like I said, I want to do more trips like this, and this is all a learning curve. But even if you had used your hotspot, there's a chance it might have cracked. It might have gone down anyway. Sure. But yeah, that's what happened. And then when you restarted the stream, it went live to restream, so it went onto my personal Facebook and my YouTube channel. But then without all the information. And without the fundraiser, so I felt bad, for that. But then again, like I said, the main thing is we did it, we got it running again, and now it's up there to watch now. And like I said, I've got a lot to talk about, and we have more content from that trip as well. There's actually a load of videos that haven't even been published yet. So I think it's successful, and we'll learn from that stuff and take it forward with us. I'm just playing people's Happy Valentine's. Vanatine, says Jim. What's that, Jim? David's here. Bernard Smith is here. Muddy Creek Critters is here. S. Willis is here. And Chazza is here. Happy Valentine's, Chazza. And Skip from Boston is here. And Jim is here. It's a cold, sunny day in Vermont. -7. Ooh. That's cold. Jack says, hi all. When you're at the museum, did they have the new signature model, 0028 Brook Ligertwood? Well, if they did, I'm disappointed they didn't let me play it, Jack, because I saw that get released today, and my eyes lit up. I was like, this is a great model. Why was this model not there when I was there? Why am I not playing this? I really want to play this ASAP. And the reason I'm interested in this model is because, yes, I'm going to bore you all to tears. It's an OM size, triple O's kind of guitar with the rosette that I like. I know, I'm so predictable. Well, it's on there, and I'm going to say I like it because I do. It's got the rosette. Yeah. It's got the narrow nut. It's got the... So you know where I'm going with this. It's a little bit like a John Mayer. It's got the full dovetail neck joint, which I think I prefer from my comparison. And it does have a slight soft V-neck, so that's the difference there. It's like a combination of the Clapton and the Mayer or something like that, right? So I think this is I'm actually really, and it's more affordable than the OMJM. I think this is a great way to go if you want a guitar like that, and it's the short scale if you like the short scale. I think this is a really exciting model, and I don't understand why this wasn't announced before or to more fanfare. Like I just saw it today on the Martin site. I don't really understand. Like, to me, I'm more excited about this, Maury, than I am, say, the new SCs that were announced. So. Oh
wow! Well, yeah, they wasn't at the museum when we were there. It wasn't. I don't think it's done yet. If there are any prototypes finished, I think it might have happened just after we left on Monday. It wasn't an opportunity we could have played that. If I remember my rep telling me correctly, this is going to be really hard to get. I think there's going to be a very short supply of these, and the very first initial run is going to be a situation where X number of dealers want them, and there aren't that many to go around. So I'm not sure long term how quick these are going to hit the stores, but I think the early release for these is going to be a little bit small, and I'm not sure why they waited till mid-February. We got the literature on this guitar back when they introduced the modern deluxe guitars and the SCs, and it did say, release dates for the guitars, and I thought, is that a typo? Is that everything's coming out in January, but one model's going to wait? And I haven't really been told why.
Let me just throw it on the screen. There's actually a sunburst and a... I always want to say plain. I can never think it's just natural, right? I can never think of the word natural for some reason. I'm really excited about this guitar, and I hadn't heard of Brook, right? I admit I've not heard of Brook before. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Why is that so small on my screen? Show entire screen. Show Safari. There we go. So there's a sunburst version, and there's the natural version. I really like the decal on the headstock. You see, it's got that hint of the John Mayer guitar. You see why I like this guitar, Maury? It's got the hint of the John Mayer. It's a short scale. Now, she's got an Anthem in there, but it doesn't come with the Anthem. I don't understand why that is, because it seems like she's an Anthem player. I think that's a good move, though, because maybe if they did that, they'd put the battery box in there. And I always feel like they don't need the battery box with the Anthem, because the battery life is so long anyway. And it's very easy to put your own pickup in the guitar after the fact. So putting your own Anthem in is good. It probably keeps the cost down as well, I would imagine. But I think this is great. You see, it looks very John Mayer-ish, but it's got the dovetail neck joint, which our friend Dovetail or Die will appreciate. It's more affordable than the Mayer, and it's got that full dovetail neck joint. This is the Sitka top one, the plain top. I really like it. I really want to play this guitar. I did this earlier. I chatted with Martin here on the website, and I said to them, "Is this just like limited?" Oh, Bernard, thank you, $4.49. Appreciate it. I said, "Is this limited?" They said it's one of those deals where they'll make them as long as the dealers order them, Maury. So as long as you're ordering them, they'll keep making them. But once you stop ordering them, they won't make any more of them. So they are numbered, but they're not limited. So the question is, are you going to order this model? The people need to know.
Yeah, we already have. I think we put an order in for, if I remember, Lori ordered a couple of each, but I think quickly after that we got the email you can't have all four, and it was one of those situations where we'll do our best. So it's these last couple of weeks we've been getting emails to say things like order received, stand by, we'll tell you if you can do it, and it's such a strange time for Martin to take dealer orders and forecast them, but we have certainly put the interest in for this one.
Let me know in the chat if you're interested in this guitar. It just ties in nicely with what I said in my review of the OMJM versus the custom shop. It's just another option. In that video I said the OM28 or the OM42 is what I might go for over the OMJM, but this now throws another option in there as well. If you want that rosette around the sound hole, and if you like the V-neck, and we'll talk about necks today as well from the trip. I played a lot of different necks on the guitars. If you like that, I think this is a great way to go, because this is different. Like the custom shop, if you want to do this from a custom shop, it's going to be more than this. So I think this is a great option. And I was listening to her music today, and she's very good. So I think she's based in New Zealand and does a lot of I think she does worship music, and she's based in New Zealand. And I'm pleased because yet another guitar. It just blows my mind how these models just keep coming out constantly. And I guess it's a good thing, unless our friends now want to buy one. That could be good or bad depending on their situation. Let me know in the chat if you're interested in that model. I think it's really interesting, really cool. So we'll see. Do they have new models at the museum or just the old ones? So that they have nothing new. So I didn't see this guitar there. But what I did see there was as you walk in the lobby, I saw the new SC13s and I saw the new Modern Deluxe guitars. So shall we start with those, Maury? Because I got a chance to play them while I was waiting upon your arrival. I got to play all those guitars.
That's not a nice way to say I was late, but I'm glad you got to play them. I got there at 11 o'clock, and it's funny, I brought my iPad. And check this out. In case there was so much downtime, I would start shooting B-roll for us, and I would start editing those things, maybe even put something up on social media. And fast forward to, we needed every minute we had plus a half hour. So, yeah, when I got there, I saw they were still on display. And I'd like to, I want to ask you off camera, and I just forgot to do it. When you got there and had some free time, did they have the SC10, or is that still missing?
They did not. They had the Burst Special Edition and the regular Special Edition. And my first thought was, I'm not writing these off completely yet, but my first thought was strumming them in the lobby that they just felt a bit small and thin to me. But then again, they are 11 gauge strings with a low action. I wonder if a lot of Martin fans are going to think this initially when they play those guitars. I wonder if they're going to expect them to sound like their OMs and their Dreadnoughts, and then obviously they're not going to, because that's not physically possible. And then I haven't written that off completely. I want to get one of those, and I want to do a proper month-long review, because I feel like with that, it's something you've got to readjust to. You've got to get used to the pros and cons that come along with that new design. And so, yeah, my initial impression of that was a bit like, well, I'm not sure about this. I mean, it was just that one that I played. But again, I think you've got to plug something like that into a PA as well. I think they are designed for the stage. And it doesn't surprise me I had that reaction. I think secretly I was hoping that it would blow my mind. And I think this is it. I found the one. But I think with that guitar, it certainly has a purpose, and it's something that I would need to play further. Then again, so many people are raving about them, including our own David Belcher. So there's a lot of hype there with it as well. But they already like it. But yeah, that was a bit of I wasn't that taken with that model. But then I played the Modern Deluxe, and I'll take a step back here. When they announced those, Maury, I wasn't very impressed. I was a bit like, well, they're not really for me. I played some in the past, not really my thing. And I played them again. I did quite like them. I'll take that back. Well, I particularly like the D45. And I personally wouldn't get the D45. I would rather get an authentic myself, or 2 standard series myself. But it did sound very, very good. I will admit it. So if you're looking to buy a D45 Modern Deluxe, I do think it's a great guitar. And then it's just up to you if that's the model you want to get. So that impressed me. And I spent most time with that over the others. I don't understand why. That just seemed better to me than even the 42. And yet they're basically the same model construction. But the 45, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's We'll talk today about psychology. I don't know how much of this is psychological with me. Like, oh, it's a $12,000 guitar. It sounds great. I don't know. There is something with that stuff, definitely. But it did sound really good. So I'll take a step back on that. And then as we go on, we'll talk about the Authentics and what I thought about those. But let's just keep saying hi to our friends here. Muddy Creek Critters, happy Valentine's. Miss Ella Segovia. So, I talk about Metalhead Hippie. He does all these radio shows where he's played my songs before. Well, one of the contributors to that is friends with Miss Ella. And actually, there's a whole community of people, singers that are like kind of sharing each other's work on YouTube. I've been watching. So we met today. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Perhaps we'll collab one day. And then Lewis is here too. Says, happy love day, everybody. Lewis is back. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're practicing your guitar. Old says, hi all. Made it home in time. Great. Thanks for joining us. And Alan says, hi, everybody. Jasper, I like you guys so much. So positive always. So full of Martin enthusiasm. Proud of my custom D18. I don't think I'm always completely positive, am I? I don't know. But if you keep watching, I am happy to admit if I change my mind as well. I like to speak my mind on here. And I'll definitely do that today about what we played at the museum. Vic G says, hi Aaron, hi Maury. I enjoyed the videos this past week. Awesome. Thanks for watching them. Please share them if you can. Mark Johnson says, hi Maury and Aaron and everyone in the chat from Virginia. S. Willis says, you're most welcome. That's for the Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you, S. Willis. I really appreciate your support. Rosanna says, hi, Aaron and Maury and everyone in the chat. Happy Monday. Good to see you. Great to see you yesterday as well, Rosanna, for the Valentine's concert. Well done, Aaron and Maury. Thank you, S. Willis. Kookie is here. Salut. Salut, Kookie. That's French. Pooh Ninja. Was the museum haunted? Actually, that's a great question. Perhaps we should spend an actual night there sometime to find out. All right, we got a question here. What was your favorite guitar? What was my favorite guitar? That's so tough, isn't it? I mean, there's so many good ones there. Maybe this is a better question for the end of the stream. I mean, okay.
I thought you knew already before you was thinking. Geez.
Straight to my mind is the John Mayer prototype. Very, very cool guitar.
There you go.
And we're gonna talk about that. Okay, let's use this as a way to talk about that right now. So they had the prototype, and I took my custom, which is basically the same build. And someone pointed out to me that the strings may have been different. That's a good point. I wasn't able to restring the guitars at the museum, and we all know that new strings can affect the sound of a guitar, right? But what I thought when I played them back to back in the room, and this is coming back to my psychology again, I just felt like the prototype John Mayer had more, it was more open and just more open, and it also felt different, of course, because it wasn't worn in, it hadn't been played a lot, but the neck just felt like it'd been played a little bit, and it wasn't like completely brand new, and it just felt very comfortable. It's like when you put an old pair of shoes on, they're more comfortable than a new pair of shoes. So it felt very comfortable, and to me it sounded more comfortable, more played in. And I really just felt like the tone was basically the same. So the tone was the same, but it just had more of an open tone. And we've spoke about that on here a lot, how guitars get better with age. And we've done a few videos about that. And I watched those back again. We've done like Maury's guitar there, which is obviously played in a lot. We've done a video where he compares that to a modern OM28 vintage and V-neck, sorry. And I think I hear it in that video as well. I think I hear the difference. But then watching the video back we did, I think I hear less of a difference. And all the viewers' comments are saying that my custom is better than the prototype. So of course I'm really happy about that. That's awesome for me. That's great for me, but I didn't feel that in the room. So I need to get Maury's opinion on this. Like, you were sitting there, did you feel what I'm explaining, or do you think that was more in my mind and my hands on the stage?
Well, my mind was so dedicated to watching the levels and being careful of the technology. Like, I was so make sure things are working that I wasn't sitting and really appreciating it like I would. But I was still able to take a few moments. Every time you played a different guitar, I did stop to try to do that, for expecting you would ask me. And I really think where I was sitting, which is about maybe 10 feet in front of you or 15 feet in front of you behind the table, I heard a difference that I suspected it was more of a difference where I was than what the microphones were hearing. And I'm not surprised that what you felt and what you experienced, in the moment wasn't completely coming across on the microphones as much as we heard there. So I would agree that I think you made a good comment. If I could quote you, if I heard you correctly that day, the difference between the prototype and your custom was similar to the range of difference from the OMJM to the Dovetail custom that you did a month before. I couldn't say that I heard that much because I would have liked to have listened to your other video right before that to have a reference. But I heard a pretty good difference, and I wouldn't say that they were close.
I really believe this though. That the OMJM versus the custom is huge to me. Like the difference is massive. I don't know if it's just that guitar or if it's the dovetail neck or the bracing or whatever. It's a huge difference. I really believe that, and that's why in my video I said to people, if I was recommending now a guitar, I would say go for the OM42 over the OMJM. I just think that if it is the dovetail neck joint, it makes a huge difference. And I may have said that to you in the moment. I don't know if I felt that much of a difference with that one, but I definitely felt a level of this is a more open guitar and therefore more kind of full and 3D and better, right? I'm saying that as a better thing. Yeah. But we talked a lot about how guitars get better with age, even if they're not played very much. And I think that's what I was hearing. Just the fact the wood had just loosened and matured, and it just sounded a bit more open. It's exactly how it sounded. And I like the sound of a brand new guitar, that kind of tight, focused sound. I quite like that for some things, but I also really like that 10-year of just openness. And I'm sure people that are watching that have owned guitars for 10 or 20 years can chime in on this as well. And I just definitely heard it, and I definitely heard it watching our video back with your guitar there and the new OM28V as well. But now I watch the video back, and I'll play the audio now from your video, Maury. I watch back the comparison when it's back to back, and I really... Well, let's see if I still feel that way. If you've got some headphones, then throw them on. And what I'll do is I will play... I just got to pull it up, but I shall play the recording of the two guitars back to back, and I'll tell, because maybe this will lose quality over the stream, but I'll tell you now, Maury, if I feel I can hear a difference between 1 and 2. Okay, I'll do it right now live. So here is the A/B comparison back to back. Just tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to play it from the start. And in fact, let me put it on the screen so you can see which is A and which is B. And we'll do this one live. I think this might be more for me. I'm not sure how well this will translate over the internet, but let's see. Let's see what happens. Okay, desktop. All right, here it is. This is an unreleased video, people. This is coming soon. This is a sneak peek. All right, let's talk about that then. I'll tell you what I'm hearing now. Listen to that back to back. I still think I hear it a little bit. I still think I hear the A is a bit newer, but then again, the strings are probably newer because I'd restrung it a week before, and the guitar in the museum I'm sure wasn't restrung a week before. So I think a part of this could be the new strings. And I still think I hear just a bit more openness from B, but it's so small that I would not go chasing. For sound, I wouldn't go chasing another OM28 John Mayer, which is probably in that condition, probably now 15 grand. I wouldn't do it. But I tell you this, I did like the look of it. I like the orange, like your guitar is more orange. I like that orange look on the Martin. And I do like the decal a lot, like around the headstock and at the 12th fret. It looks fantastic. I think it's one of my favorite looking guitars of all time. So if I had the money, based on the looks, I'd probably buy one again if I found one in that condition. But based on the sound, I'd rather have the custom shop. And I think my custom shop will only get better. I think everyone here will agree that a guitar, acoustic guitar especially, gets better with age. If you don't agree, let me know, because honestly, I've not really experienced that in person. I don't think I've not owned a guitar really for long enough to really tell that. You'll laugh, but it's kind of true, got to be honest. But I think from what I've heard in these guitars and your guitar and what people have said to me in the chat previous weeks, I think my guitar will, if I do feel that guitar is a bit better, I think my guitar will get there. And I think that can only be done with age of the wood. And I think that's normal.
Oh, yeah.
We're really splitting. I'm really splitting hairs over this. Like they essentially, I think they sound really close, and I'm really happy that people said that my guitar sounds better than that one. I don't know if I agree, but it makes me feel good about my purchase. So thank you everybody that said that.
Well, it proves they sound different, and I don't want to be a wet blanket, but what you just played, I wasn't able to hear it with my monitor. Aaron and I have a back channel audio system during these broadcasts, so I wasn't able to hear what you guys heard during that quick video play. But I do remember it.
But you edited that video, so what did you think when you... Hang on. Thank you, Jasper. Appreciate the support, buddy. You edited that video, so did you have any thoughts as you were editing?
I did. I thought there was a pretty big difference in the editing part, and you have to appreciate when I'm doing that, I have good headphones on, and I'm listening so close because I have to see where I put the splice. So when I finish those videos before they go to YouTube, I play them through front to back a few times, and a side effect of that is I get to hear them all. I did hear more brilliance and a little bit more liveliness, I think, from, I don't know if we're going to give away what A and B are, but they didn't sound the same to me on the video.
Right, but what is that? Is it the strings? Is it the wood? Is it the what they washed their hands with the day they made the guitar? Is it the rain that fell on the tree? Is it in my mind? Like these are the questions that I hope to one day answer about these acoustic guitars.
Listen, when you say that about the strings, I know what you mean, but have you ever changed strings on a guitar that needed a string change so bad and went, oh my God, this guitar is so different now? I haven't. I mean, the string life has a lot to do with something, but it's not going to make you think your average guitar was amazing and you forgot how it sounded until you put more strings on it, unless you're those kind of players. And I hope we don't have anybody in the chat that changes strings every year. If you do things like that, you're going to bring a guitar back to life with new strings because you're months and months and months past the stage where you should have changed them. But that's not Aaron.
I just had my... Well, actually, I'm much lazier now about changing strings. I just had my Strats set up with 10s, and the difference is huge. Like, there's videos on the internet about 9s and 10s basically being the same. They're not at all. The 10s sound much fatter to me. They feel fatter too, which I'm not a big fan of. I can see why people like 9.5. This is on electric, by the way. But the 10s to me, just like where I've had a guitar with 10s and felt that guitar sounds bigger than mine, now I get that feeling from my guitar. So strings do make a huge difference. And someone pointed that out on my channel, and I do agree with that. But I also just felt like, does it matter? Does it matter that rare guitar in a museum made me feel like it was more open? What if it isn't? What if it is all in my head? Olds, thank you, Olds. Appreciate it.
It's only that guitar.
What if it is just in my head? I mean, did you see the video someone posted this week with the electric guitar? They took a cheap telly and expensive Telecaster, and he wants to know what the difference is. So they sound completely different. And then he plays around with like the pickup height and the pickups, and that makes them basically sound the same. And then to test the amount... Have you seen this video, Maury?
I don't think so.
To test... This is awesome. Thank you for your support. Really appreciate it. to test. I know it's annoying, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I appreciate it. To test. I got that from Dylan Talks Tone. He does that. To test the full thing of the guitar, he takes everything out of the guitar, apart from he mounts it onto a desk with just the pickups and the strings to show that they sound the same. I'm not explaining it very well. You have to watch this video. I'll try to remember to link it below at the end when we're done.
Wow.
But he basically proves that the pickups and the pickup height on an electric guitar is what gives it the sound. And none of that stuff matters. And yet, for years, people are saying, well, the thickness of the wood, the weight of the wood, the wood type. A lot of people say that doesn't matter with electric because you're hearing the pickups. And I even say that with acoustic. Yeah. With acoustic, you're hearing the pickup. I really believe that. But he proves that. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, doesn't matter. Like if I wanted to buy a 15 grand Martin John Mayer guitar, does it matter if I feel like it's better, or is that a big waste of money? This is really for the chat. I mean, I presume you're going to say I should buy a new one, but
only you can answer that for yourself. And I say that to the camera because anybody who hears that sentence, don't let anybody tell you it doesn't matter, and don't let anybody tell you it does. I wanted to play a lot of those guitars that you got to play last Monday, and I would have been walking away from that museum really wanting some of them because I heard what inspired me, and if it inspired me, that's all that matters to me. Even if somebody disproves me a week later, I heard what I liked. It made that much of a change to me. It inspired me to want that, and I won't jump ahead too far in the program, but when we get to talk about that 1939 0042, you really impressed me with how much you were able to do with a short scale instrument, and I'll wait my turn to say that, but there are things that I didn't really believe mattered to me as much until after I watched what happened when you played them. Yeah,
I'm going to talk. I apologize that today is basically talking, but there's just so much to say about that trip that today is just going to be basically talking. But I got so many thoughts. I just want to go back to the comments so we keep up to date. Old says, didn't know you could donate later. You have to do another event in the future. I want to do it. I'm very impressed with how YouTube handled that. I literally choose the charity through the list, and they just add it, they make it very easy to donate, and they handle everything. It tells you what it's for and everything. They're very transparent, and you can add it to any video, and then you can also add it to other people's channels' videos as well. So if I do another one, for example, if BMO has a channel, BMO could add it to their channel as well, or you could even join an existing one. Yeah, they do it really well. So I think that was great. I'll definitely do that again. Olds, that's awesome. BMO says, yes, which guitar played the best? So that's the thing that we should mention here. None of the guitars particularly played amazingly well. And I think that's fair enough because it's a museum. It's not a guitar store, right? They are not going in there and taking them out of the cases every day and restringing them and setting them up. They're not doing that. Now, the John Mayer did play really well, to be fair, but some of the really old guitars, I could barely tune or play. And I was also scared to. Like the oldest Martin, I was too scared. You can see in the video, I'm almost scared to hold it because it didn't feel fragile, but it kind of, in my mind, it did. Right? They actually felt really sturdy for how old they were. But in my mind, I was holding something incredibly delicate, and I was a bit nervous about scratching it or whatever. But some of the tuners were loose on some of those guitars. Some of those tuners wouldn't move, and I didn't even want to try to manipulate them in case I broke something. One of the guitars had a broken string as well. So, for me, that's a bit disappointing. I would love to have had them all tuned up with brand new strings, set up by someone in the custom shop, and actually played them. That wasn't the case. I'm not good enough either to kind of navigate around those kind of things. I need a guitar that plays well and it's really in tune. I'm used to that as well. So that's something you get from a new guitar that you might not get from a museum piece. But the later ones did play well. The Clapton played well. The Mayer played really well. That's the newest guitar. That's probably why. The Authentic played well, and so did the original version of the Authentic. We'll talk about that next because that's a really really cool topic, I think. Jasper says, listen, many channels go from super chat to super chat. Don't worry about it, you deserve it. Oh, thank you, Jasper. I try to read out every comment, but if you want to donate either by buying my mug or my t-shirt or sending a super chat, then I really appreciate it. Because like I said, I'd like to do more of those trips. I really want to go to Nam, Maury, but I mean I'm not asking for money or complaining, but that would be a very expensive trip. But I would like to go. but I'm not going to book it until we get closer just to see what happens. And I think what I'll do is I'll probably, if I'm going to go, I'm going to book the hotel as soon as I can and then book the flight probably last minute. But I would like to go, but we'll see. Lee says, hi everyone, I'm working again. I need to retire. Yes, you do, Lee. It's about time. And Pooh Ninja says Banhammer. Banhammer. I'm not sure what you mean. Kooky says, yes, you barely played any mahogany guitars. Of course, Kooky, because everyone knows that rosewood guitars are better. That may have been partially by choice. I don't think so, actually. If you remember correctly, we had a vote on which guitars we were going to play. And they are the guitars we played. So, sorry about that. David Belcher says, Martin Museum Part 2. Yeah. Part 2, the mahogany years. Mahogany Strikes Back. Return of the Mahogany.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great.
Did you at least hold Johnny Cash's guitar? No, that's the one that did slip through. That's the one that didn't make the list. Remember, we only had an hour at the end of the time. And even that was kind of rushing through them. And then the day went so fast. Like, we made 2 videos of the Maya and the Authentics because I really wanted to cover that. And then we were basically out of time. We did a few other things with Robert talking, but aside from that, we kind of ran out of time. The time just flew, as I knew it would.
Yeah.
So that's one guitar that didn't get played. But that's not to belittle it. That's a guitar that was lent to Johnny Cash while his guitar was being repaired. I think the actual Johnny Cash guitar is at the museum in Nashville. Not that that's still not a cool thing, of course. We love Johnny Cash, don't we?
You did it. You know you did it. You killed both of them. You're fired. Get out of here. You're crazy.
Sorry, I had to add this extra sound effect.
I wanted to recreate that with you in the museum. That's why I'm sad we didn't get to play it.
Can you imagine? Like, Thomas walks in and we're like reenacting that scene.
You stay out of this, Thomas. This is nothing about you.
Maybe that's the guitar. I don't know. Yeah, I don't mean to belittle it, but the actual, if that was the actual Johnny Cash guitar, and I don't know how many he had, but if that was the one, I think the one in Nashville Museum, if that was that one, I would have had to have played it. But yeah, that is still a guitar that he played, which is awesome. But
so do you think that Colombo guitar might be the one that's in the museum?
It could be. It could be.
Could say, what's the matter with you? Like, just like the scene. That
is something that, you see, I should have asked them. I want to. This is what I'm trying to research. Like, where is that original Paul McCartney D28? Where is that guitar from that scene? It's very hard to find this stuff out, though, because a lot of people, a lot of information just gets lost, doesn't it? Oh, speaking of which, we ran into Dick Boak there as well. And I got to say this, yeah. He made me very happy because he walks in and he says to the guys in the museum, I just came in with my scales to weigh the new modern deluxe guitars. And inside I went, yes, because no one takes me seriously when I talk about the weight of a guitar. And there's Dick Boak weighing a guitar. So I said, Dick, so what makes a good guitar weight-wise? And he said, well, you know, the heavy ones can sound good, but the light ones can be nicer to play. So I didn't get my answer. It was cryptic. But it was good to see him, and he mentioned maybe doing some videos about guitars that he's been built. Should I even say that? Anyway, he invited me to maybe do some more videos with him in the future. So watch out for that.
That was cool.
Old says, even with the bugs, it was very entertaining. No apologies needed as far as I'm concerned. The free and loose nature of you and the viewers are what we love about Mondays. Good. Well, Old, thank you.
I'll say that.
I'm not saying arrogant, but I felt like once we got it going, and the content is good. Like there's not kind of weird gaps and ums and ahs, and I like the way Skip came in, and I think the content was great. I think there was just some issues that can be, you know, we can think of those in the future. Looking back, I could easily say, well, if only we'd done this and if we'd done that. But all we can do is learn from that, right? We're learning as we go. This whole thing, whole live streaming thing is a learning thing. Like our first episode, you want to see how much we've learned? Go back and watch the first episode from 2 years ago at the start of the pandemic.
No, don't.
Then you'll see how much.
I mean, technically, I don't mean you on stage. You were great. I mean, like what I would do differently with microphones and with setting things up. I only mean like the behind the scenes stuff. I think the show and content was everything I hoped it could be. That's not my concern, you know.
Rosanna says, did we get to play the OM45 that survived World War II? Did we? I've forgotten.
No.
Did we? We didn't know. That was on the list, but they forgot to bring it out. Sorry. Another one for the list. S. Willis says, -14. James Floyd says, I'm tuning in from Texas. Well, that's great to hear because it's very, very important to be in tune. Okay, Lewis said, I enjoyed the history behind it. So much joy around. Jack said, BL0028 was based on Clapton and Paul Simon models that she owns. Ah, Jack, you've been reading Martin.com as well. Just kidding, buddy. You mean the new signature? I like this new signature. Are you going to get one, Jack? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what you think. No one's talking about this guitar. What's that? No new guitar days this week? Come on, what's going on with everyone? Are you just living through the videos now? Are you watching me go to the museum and getting excited over the 1930? Everyone's saving for a 1937 authentic. That's what it is.
Ooh, we're getting there.
Jasper North says, I lived 6 years in Garrett County, MD, very close to Nazareth. I never went there since I didn't play the guitar that much, and the internet had just started. I'm talking 1995. Yeah, I remember those days. If only we started making videos back in 95. Oh.
Ooh.
Unfortunately for me, narrow neck and bridge spacing. Yeah, like I said, I'm absolutely fine with the narrow nut now. I don't find any... I would really struggle to tell. This is just me, but I would personally struggle to tell. The thing with that new guitar is it has a slight soft V, but then again, it's a soft V with a narrow nut, so I'm wondering how that would feel in the hand. So,
yeah.
Rosanna says, Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Rexomatic says, similar to CEO7. What's that, the new model? No, it's a 00028 short scale, soft V-neck.
Maybe just the neck.
Oh, the neck shape, yeah. But the CEO7's a 1 3/4 inch, right? And the new one is the narrow nut. And S. Willis says, it's great that Martin made a more affordable, attainable guitar with a VTS. Yes, it's got VTS as well. Forgot to say that. Too bad the nut. Well, we've got a lot of haters on the 1/11/16 inch nut. Yeah, I'm only throwing that in as possible help to people. I was very against that nut. It's one of the main reasons I sold my John Mayer originally. Is I just felt I read, and this is just the truth. I read online a lot that people would say I don't like that, and I really felt it kind of got in my head a bit that I didn't like it either. But now, honestly, I'm very indifferent now. I'm not just saying that to be on the fence. If I had to choose, would I choose the wider? Maybe, yeah, okay, I would. But I'm not. It's not a deal breaker for me at all. For me, it's more the feel of the neck as a whole. So how does that particular neck feel with that combined for me? So that's just where I'm at. I'm not saying that you're wrong, S. Willis. I'm just saying that was my experience over the years. What does yours have, Maury? Is yours 1 3/4 or 1 11/16?
1 3/4.
Okay. And I learned something too, because the old Martins had the wider nut, and then they went narrower, didn't they? They went narrow, and then they went back again. So they've kind of gone like that over the years. That was interesting information. So the authentic I played had the 1 3/4 inch, and then in later years they went to the narrow nut, and then they went back again. Interesting stuff. Did I hear one of the Martin guys correctly that Martin Owners Club members can request to play one of the display guitars when we visit? That seemed a little too generous. I'm not sure about the official word on that. I've heard of friends in the past that have played like the millionth guitar and things like that. I've definitely heard people tell me that. But I don't know if there's an official... Do you know that, Maury? If there's like an official stance on how many museum pieces you're allowed to play, if you remember?
How can I say this as a dealer and a good guy on Monday and a pal of irons? I think it's very, very plausible that at a Martin Owners Club event, something you didn't think was going to happen could happen because of somebody's generosity, and you could try to do it the second time and they'll say, no way, it can't happen. So it wouldn't surprise me if off the cuff somebody at one of those events that works at Martin said, sure, check it out, and then that wasn't repeated. So I think it's probably a case-by-case basis. I'm sure there isn't an official stance to even look up. I think I've seen unofficial Martin Guitar Forum events where it was like, play whatever you want. Here's all the keys. And we're like, what? And I know that can't be something that officially up the chain there was a meeting about. That was just, well, you did it, So it's good to be in that place. If you get the right people at the right time in the museum or anywhere in the factory, things can happen that are really fun. And I don't think there's a specific guideline about it.
Even I wasn't sure until last week. I wasn't sure we'd be able to play them. I thought we were just going there. I didn't really know what to expect. And then, of course, close to the time, I said to them, so can I play them? I was like, yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess I've known them. I've known those guys that run the museum for a while now. So I don't know. I don't want to speak for them. I'll give you a free tip as you're all watching right now. If you go to the museum and you pull someone aside and say, Maury Rutsch said that I can play one of the guitars in the museum, they will not let you play the guitar. Okay, that's just a free... That was a joke. It's
very true. It's funny because it's true.
There's a thing about like the whole music industry. Like it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So I think it's probably a case by case basis. I've seen people play them. I've heard of people playing them. Maybe there's times when they won't let you play them because of whatever's going on at the time. I don't know. So yeah. Let us know. Keep us up to date if you play one. But years ago, I heard of friends playing the millionth guitar. I think it was the millionth guitar. So yeah. I was jealous, and now I got to play them myself. But I didn't play that one, so there's still more I didn't play. Kookie says it's a mod V-neck. That's right, you like that, right, Kookie? But it's not mahogany, so you're in trouble. Lewis says, thank you forever. You're welcome. I'm reviving his channel. Yeah, Lewis is getting more views than me. I'm teaching lessons now. Saturday, 1 p.m. I'm doing like a song lesson. So this is great. And Lewis is rekindling his guitar playing, and he's been posting his results on his social media, and he's getting like 800 views. He's getting more views than I am, which is great. And then he's linking back to me, so that's awesome. So yeah, I encourage more people to come to that, learn the song of the week, make a video, put it on a channel, share it around. And Lewis just does the shorts, so it's like a 1 minute, just a little clip playing the song.
That's very, a great community you have going there. That's great.
Yeah,
thank you.
Good stuff. Oh, his video hit 2,000 views.
Wow.
I must be a good teacher. Good job, Lewis. Lisa says, hey, Aaron, Maury, and everyone in the chat from San Mateo, California. Very cool. What is your channel? Yeah, Lewis, put your channel link in the chat for me. Padded Pederum. So here's Padded Pederum, who's also part of the Metalhead Hippie community, which is great. They did a show the other day where they just played. Well, I shouldn't say just. They did a show the other day where they played one of the members' songs for the whole show, and basically they just went into their music. It's really nice. It's like the days of radio again.
Right.
He's working. Okay, good. Thanks for listening in while you're working. Food Ninja says, hey, Fast Francis says, hey to Francis. Lots of love and hearts today for Valentine's. Did anyone get a Valentine's guitar from their sweetheart? Probably not, I imagine. I just got a note come through. People couldn't hear the comparison video? Okay, apologies. On my screen it says it was coming through. I wonder why that was. So I won't play it again in case there's a technical issue. Just hold on, because that will be released in a week or two on Maury's channel. Okay, and that's just the audio from my video anyway. So if you want to hear that comparison, go to my channel and listen to the video I posted last week of the two guitars. They've just been put together closer, and that video is coming on Maury's channel in a couple of weeks. So I won't play it again. It might be a technical thing I've got with my computer today. These bugs are coming through thick and fast, Maury, lately. I'm not sure what's going on.
Not good.
Lewis says he posts the guitar progress from me every week. I like that. It's really cool. It's really cool that I can teach you over the internet, and then you can post that result over the internet, and people can see those results in real time. It's very cool stuff.
I got to check that out.
Yeah, you might learn something, Maury.
Possible.
I want this button in real life. When I say, I often get in trouble when I speak to people in real life. I often make, especially when I first moved from the UK to America, my sense of humor wouldn't come through. I would say something without smiling. So I would have said, yeah, you might learn something, Maury. And then people would think I was just being really rude. So if I could just carry this around with me, perhaps I'll invent this button that you carry around, and as you speak to people in real life, you just hit this button. If it gets really awkward, you just go. Just kidding. Don't take my
like a
idea.
Stream Deck necklace, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
a panic button, like literally. So, Aaron, what do you think of this guitar? It's
Sound-
good, right?
How about sound effects? Sound effect sniffer.
Okay, this is a long one. I believe that's the sound I hear when I open a new guitar case for the first time. I'm busy, but that's a good thing. Oh, come on. I'm busy, but that's a good thing. How's Jeff's vacation going for the house band? Oh, you're talking to each other. Okay, I won't butt in then. Were there any... Okay, yeah. Fire those questions in here for the museum. Let's fill in anything we missed. So were there any long-scale small guitars, small and triple O at the museum? I mean, there was a lot. There's a lot we didn't cover, of course. We have to make that clear. There's so much in there. And Maury's already said, like, we should go back. And yeah, I mean, you could spend weeks going through all those guitars. And I believe they have more too. Like, what you see in there isn't everything. They're going to cycle things around over the years, of course. So
Right. Yeah.
I did the backstage tour years ago and saw the room where they have Chris Martin's personal collection. And there's just a huge rack of guitar cases. So yeah, we only...
And wood.
We only scratched the surface. But do you remember if there was any long scale, small guitars, smaller than a triple O?
Not in the guitars we were able to play. Were there in the museum behind the glass? I'm sure there were. Yeah.
I think so. There's just so much. There's so many there. And yeah. James Morrison, good to see you, buddy. There was a jam room next to the museum when I went a few years ago. You could try quite a few models. That's how I decided to get an HD28. That's awesome. That's called the Pick and Parlor. Pick and Parlor. The Pick and Parlor. And I did go in there. They didn't have many guitars in there. They only had like half. When I've been years ago, they had. Well, they never had like all the Martin models. They had maybe say 20, and on this trip I think they had about 8. So I didn't spend too long. I want to spend most of my time playing the new guitars that were on display out the front in that lobby, and of course in the museum. So I'm soaking that up. So yeah, they didn't have as many there as they have previously, but it's cool you got to play an HD28 there. I've often said, Maury, I wish they had every single model there. Because when I first went to the factory, I thought, great, they'll have every single model. I can play every single one. But of course they don't. The reality is they make guitars and you pick them up and you sell them. They don't have the guitars on hand at the factory. They're made and they're sold. But it would be great if... I don't know if other companies do that, like they have one of each. That was my hope. They'd have one of everything, and I could just both spend the whole week there playing every single Martin. But yeah, that's not the case. Ken, good to see you. Are you new here? Played the D45, D42 Mod Deluxe in comparison to an HD28. Ordered my D22 Mod Deluxe a couple of weeks ago. Very eager to play it. Did you do a comparison of that to the standard HD28, Maury?
I don't remember doing that. No, that's a good thing to try.
I'm sure they'll sound very different, Ken. I'm a big fan of HD28, as you know. D42 Mod Deluxe, I'm sure, is awesome. I mean, it's very different neck and construction. It'd be interesting to hear them back to back, but I think they're going to sound very different. So when you get it, please send me a video of you or some photos unboxing the guitar. That'd be great. And of course, sniffing the sound hole as well. To say hi at aaronshortmusic.com. I'll throw it on the screen. There we go. Say
You
hi
were
at
such a sad puppy, Aaron, at the museum, not being able to smell through the mask. You're like, I'm finally at the museum with all the hurt guitars, and I can't smell them.
So Martin's policy in there.
Today.
Martin's policy is to wear a mask still. So I was on the stage, and the comments were coming through. Sniff the guitar. So I pretended to, but it was very fruitless to do that because obviously I couldn't smell very well at all. So that's a reason to go back again. But I did give Maury a gift, which was an actual Soundhole Sniffer sticker, and he was so in shock he could barely speak when I gave him that, because for years he's been saying that's not real, and I presented him with an actual one. Now what you can do, I had a thought about this, you could cut that out and you could stick it over the sound hole of your guitar. It could be like a sound hole cover if you cut it right. Yeah. If you get really stuck at a gig, there you go. Definitely sounds better with it on. Yeah. Oh no. So these are not new, but these are on my Teespring store as well. Stickers, mugs, and T-shirts.
Where can we find these, and what's the address?
I'll put it on the screen while you model the sticker. That's the address. teespring.com/stores/Aaron Short Music. You too can own a Soundhole Sniffer sticker. I believe Maury and Skip at Martin are the only ones that own one right now, and myself. And I wonder what Skip did with his. I wonder, I'll ask him. Okay, Jeff is getting some rest and okay, you're talking with each other, so I won't read those out, but I'm glad he's okay. 40 people watching, only 18 likes. Come on, everyone, hit that like button like you're going to buy an authentic Martin. Old says, Aaron, your point about the Mayer neck joint is why I'm skeptical they can make an SC28E. Can the new metal-assisted neck joint yield the sound of a 28? Well, if my thoughts on that are correct, then no. But like I said earlier, maybe we shouldn't expect it to, right? An OM is not going to sound like a Dread. An SC is not going to sound like an OM. I think you've got to base that on the guitar itself. Well, then again, who knows? If they do make a 28 style version, maybe it will. I don't know. But I have to always say, is based on that particular video, based on those two guitars on that day when I made that video, I much preferred, and all I can put it down to is the neck joint. And also, when Maury did a similar comparison on his channel, I thought I heard the same thing. And also, our friend in the chat, Dovetail or Die, clearly is right. So, just kidding, buddy. But I do think there's something there. This stuff is so subjective. All I can do on this channel, Maury, is say what I've researched and what my thoughts and feelings are. I can't prove any of this scientifically. And maybe if I was more talented, like the guy with the electric guitar where he took it all apart, like I mentioned earlier, maybe that is scientific proof that tone wood doesn't matter. But even then, it does matter if you want it to. If you want your guitar to be made of Brazilian rosewood, then you want your guitar to be made of Brazilian rosewood. And it doesn't really matter what experiment anyone does. So this is all just my findings. Maybe that particular SC I played that day had a lower action than the others, and who knows? So that's why I'm happy to report my findings, but everything I say has to be taken with a pinch of salt because these guitars can be so different. But I also don't expect that to sound. I don't expect an SC13 to sound like an HD28. That'd be completely unrealistic. Why would they even make? And then you can say, well, why would they make an HD28? Right? So the fact is, how does it sound for its job, which is plugged in through the PA? How is it to solo on and things like that? So that's just my initial thought. There's also my thought of, I wonder how many Martin fans are going to play that and feel the same way. Like, it doesn't sound like my other guitar. But then I think over time they'll realize that that's why they have two guitars, because it's not going to sound the same. So a lot of this is just me talking out loud, but I still hope they make a 28 kind of version in some respect. I thought it said certified sniffer. Actually, it should do, yeah. We deserve more likes. Yes, we do. Like our stream. Like our stream. Come on. It's Valentine's. If you don't like our stream today, then there's a problem. But even Pooh Ninja's in on it now. Throw some... Come on, press that thumbs up button, please. Is there something playing? No, there was earlier, but I think it didn't work. So, like I said, that video... I'll link these videos later. The video I played from I'll link, and I'll also link the electric guitar that I mentioned, that video. Oh, this is from when I played the demo, it didn't come through. No sound. Okay, sorry about that. So you basically saw Maury and myself sitting there in silence for a minute. Well, I tell you what, I really enjoyed the video, so just kidding. Hi, Bruce, good to see you here. Like I said, I'll put that link to the actual video in the description. You can watch it later. Or just on my channel, you'll see custom versus prototype. So that's what I was basically playing. I love this. Look, I played that like half an hour ago, and I'm only now getting through the comments because everything's so delayed.
Wow.
Oops. Sorry. Jasper, thank you for the super chat. Do you guys believe in the tone right? Well, I haven't tried it, so again, if I haven't tried something, I can't comment on it. David Belcher says it works. I think Maury said he's tried it and it works.
Yep.
But so talking about doing these tests, it's so hard to do a test with something like that because it takes so long to do the job. And if they tell you to put that thing on the guitar for 30 days, who's to say the guitar hasn't changed in 30 days anyway? That's a long time, isn't it? So something I'd like to try out one day. But I do think guitars get better with age. I do think the more you play a guitar, the better. But the tone right, I saw another one the other day. Someone else has made one like that. I mean, it can't. I'm just going to say it can't hurt. Some people might say it would hurt. I've seen people say it would hurt the guitar.
No.
Surely vibrations going through the guitar can only make it better. It's like playing it, right? I don't know. I have to say I'm no comment until I've played one. Until I've used one in person. I have no comment really. I think it might be cool if you buy one with like 10 friends and share it around each other and try it out and then say at the end if you felt it worked. I mean, I don't know. It's just a vibrator at 50 hertz, says Kooky. Kooky, what a way to bring a product down. It's just a vibrator at 50 hertz. Made one that did not work. It breaks in the strings, not the guitar. Interesting. This could be a future video debating the tone right. David Belcher loves the tone right. Have 2 of them. But David, just don't put them both on one guitar because then that guitar will open up so much. I'm being a bit facetious, aren't I? I mean, maybe that's the answer. Perhaps you can have 2 on the guitar. Thank you for the super chat. Why didn't I didn't see the super chat either, did I? Oh, yes, I did. I didn't read the comment. The AB had no sound. Okay, so I'm not going to dwell on that. I'll post a link to the actual video. But thanks for letting me know. Remember, Valentine's Day foot rub for her could lead to a President's Day new guitar day. Good point. Yeah, order flowers now, because then you might get your authentics coming in. Kooky says, David Belcher, why have you got 2? No, Maury don't need more guitars. He's got all the guitars there. Pooh Ninja says,
order flowers.
I got a scoot. You all have a great... Okay, Pooh, see you soon. Enjoy outer space. I'll see you when you get back to Earth next week. Keep it up. Thank you for the super chat. Kooky says, I sent the link of that video to Aaron. Yes, you did, Kooky. I'll give you full credit for that. You did send me that link. And I'll post that in the description below, unless you want to post it right now in the chat. Alan Coleman says, well, AB definitely ahead. Okay. All right, enough jokes about the AB, no sound. Come on. They were the worst guitars I ever played. They didn't even make any sound. And yet they still sound different to me. What's going on?
Yeah.
Please read the comments. Yeah, they're all delayed. Okay, let's talk about... Time is flying by reading through the comments, but did you get to play the Clapton guitar? Yes, the Clapton guitar is on the stream, and I really like that. I really like the short scale Clapton a lot. And let's just mention this. None of the necks bothered me. When I sit at home and play all these necks, sometimes I get really wrapped up in, well, I need this neck, and I don't like the feel of that. Just being on that stage at the museum and having half my mind on the stream, none of the necks offended me. It was just like, well, it's just a neck. Really interesting. Now, make of that what you want, because maybe there is still something to it when you're sitting at home. Maybe I was distracted, but it wasn't like, oh, I can't play that guitar. I actually quite enjoyed the differences in all the guitars. I did. So maybe I'm changing my mind a bit with that stuff. I did feel, steering this into the authentic, because I was so excited. They had an authentic from 2005 and an authentic from 37, which has got to be one of the most expensive rare guitars around, right? A 1937 Martin in that condition. That's got to be, they said, like $100 grand. I believe it. That is your golden era real guitar. And then they had the, and people hate when I hate when I say real, but you know what I mean? It's the guitar. And then you had the authentic, the original, yeah, you had the authentic recreation. That really threw a curveball to me. Because what I thought was, when I play that 1937 original, it's like the heavens will open like on that sound effect. I thought this is it. This is going to be the best sound I've ever heard in my life, because people talk about these instruments and talk about these guitars, and they say they are the one. That's what we're seeking out. That's the Martin tone. And then I had the authentic. Well, my first thought was the neck on the authentic recreation is very different to the guitar in the museum, and that really baffled me. I think I asked Jason why that was. Because I'm like, well, if this is a copy of this guitar, why is the neck so different? And in fact, a lot of the guitars I've played, I did. I was obsessed, because the guitar I played at Carter Vintage in Nashville, that had a really thin neck. The museum guitar had a really thin, not thin neck, but down at the open position, very thin, and it gets wider as you go up. The authentic just has a really fat neck all the way down, which a lot of people say they don't like. I read a lot online that people say they want an authentic, but they don't like how fat the neck is. So I'm just really mystified, because all the authentic actual vintage guitars I've played don't have that neck, and yet the authentics that I've played have the neck. So I don't know what's going on there. But sound wise, it was interesting. They were very different sounding as well to me. To me, the actual guitar had quite a dry, direct, percussive sound. Didn't have the boom that I was expecting where I was sitting. I think those strings were ancient. They looked rusted. So it could be that. But it reminded me more of like the D28, just a really in-your-face kind of lead bluegrass kind of sound, where the authentic recreation had more of an open kind of scooped, like a scallop brace sound, like a bigger, boomier sound. And I don't know which one. I think I preferred that, actually, but it's not like one was better than the other. They were just very different sounds, like when I reviewed the D28 and the HD28. Both good sounds, but very different. So I was surprised with that. I thought that 37 vintage guitar was just going to blow my mind, and I liked it. I think I liked the history and the actual instrument, but the tone, I kind of, in some ways, preferred the authentic. That was really interesting, because the authentic doesn't have like Brazilian rosewood. And the authentic doesn't have, it's not an exact copy of that guitar. So the fact that I preferred that in a way was really interesting to me and exciting, because I can't afford a $100,000 original guitar. So then it got me thinking, right, I do like this authentic thing. I like it. So aside from being confused about the neck shape, the actual guitars, I think they're great. I really like them. And if I was getting a guitar, I would personally probably go for an authentic over the Modern Deluxe. But the Modern Deluxe does have that very thin neck and everything. So if that's what you want, obviously that's a good way to go. But yeah, I'm all in now on the authentics. I'd love to get an authentic by the end of this year. I think they're great. I think you've got to play them and find the right one. I mean, that's a big investment, and they do all feel a little bit different and sound a bit different. It's not like you're just getting that guitar from the museum. You're not just getting a photocopy of that guitar. You're still getting a unique instrument, especially as it's made, very much made by hand, right? And there's lots of variables in that. We said before that you've got to get one with the right action, because it's hard to change the action without an adjustable truss rod. So, but I liked it, and I love the actual guitar. I love the Maya prototype because of what they are. They're the originals. But I was very impressed with my custom shop and the authentic in the museum as well. And I was also impressed with all the other guitars, but some of them were just a bit too unplayable to really form an opinion on. Because you saw like some of them were out of tune, some of them the tuners wouldn't turn, one of them had a broken string. The Clapton was really nice, and Maury didn't even get a chance to play that, did you? But that impressed me, because I wasn't looking for that guitar, and I played it and I was like, oh, this is cool. So yeah, as you can tell, I was more impressed than I thought I would be with all those instruments, and also impressed with the fact that the modern stuff I really do believe stands up to the old stuff, because I know, like Maury said on here before, that the guitar's now very consistent, but I read a lot on forums that people say the old ones are so much better because of the glues and the constructions and the fact that they're that old. But I don't know if it's just those particular guitars. I'm sure there are vintage Martins out there that are maybe even on a different level. I don't know, I haven't played them, but from what I played that day, the newer stuff does hold up well. But I think I like the appeal of the age based on the story and the life of the instrument as much as I do the sound, right? Like that 1937 guitar has a lot of stories to tell, and that is a cool thing. Maury's guitar, you can see, has a lot of nightmares to tell about how it was treated over its life. No, the stories are cool. The stories are cool, and a guitar that's been around since 1937 is just undeniably cool. But I was happy that I liked the authentic because they're much more affordable, and I was happy that the viewers liked my custom shop over the John Mayer. But like I said before, those original 400 John Mayers, it's not about just the sound. It's also about the fact there's only 400 of them, and some of them are broken now, and you can't get them anymore, right? People that buy guitars or collect things like things you can't get anymore because they're rare and they're hard to obtain. So there's definitely an element of that. But I was, just to sum up that rant there, but I hope that makes sense. And there's more videos of this stuff coming. We tried to do an actual like blind comparison reaction, but it was very hard to do because like as soon as I felt the Mayer, I knew it was the older one. I could feel the neck had broken in a bit, and as soon as I felt the authentic, I knew because it had a fatter neck down there in that position. So it was very hard to do that, knowing what I know. So that didn't really work, but I still had some thoughts about it. And I think, close your ears now if you don't want a spoiler, I think, thinking back to last week, I think I picked the authentic over the actual guitar, tone-wise. So...
I remember it being funny when he's sitting there on stage with his eyes closed, and I'm the one handing him guitar number 1. I hand him guitar number 2. I go back behind the camera, and Aaron does his whole thing. Well, what do you think? And he makes a big statement of which he likes better. But I don't remember which one is named which one. I know I gave him that one and not this one, but I don't know from 20 feet away which guitar was the authentic. And we had a couple of minutes where we had to really gather our thoughts back and forth. I had to do too much that day, if we're really being honest.
It was the worst blind comparison ever. Like, I'm trying not to break anything. Maury's trying to hand me guitars, and he doesn't know which is which anyway. I know too much about the guitars from all the reading that I do, so that ruined it because I know, I knew straight away which guitar was which. And I was just really trying hard. I was looking up at the sky, my eyes closed, really trying my best not to let that influence my ears. But I just knew, and when you know, right?
Yeah.
I need to have someone I need a friend that doesn't play any of those guitars to say which one do you prefer. That's how you do a comparison. I know too much just from reading about this stuff. I could tell right away. And it does influence it. Like, as much as I love new guitars, like that worn-in neck, it does feel comfortable. It's nice. That must influence the way you kind of hear it. Even though I was trying my best not to. I was like, just listen. Which one do you prefer the tone of? Listen to the tone. And that room is amazing because the echo and the reverb in that room. And I made a joke. I said, imagine all those guitars are vibrating. Like when you go to a guitar store and you strum on a guitar and all the guitars ring and sympathetic vibrations. That's kind of what happens there. The room is so ambient and you've got a big sounding. But regardless, I was trying to be completely focused on just the sound. But you can't, can you? If you have any prior knowledge, it influences what you're hearing. It definitely does. Yeah. But overall, I'm really glad we did it. I'm really glad with the experience. And I'm really glad with my findings that I personally felt. Alan says, this is the funniest stream yet. Can't stop laughing. Well, I was looking forward to this because the day was so stressful and so focused on what we were doing. So I was really excited for today's stream just to unleash all the thoughts and feelings from the day because that day we were just like on it. We didn't get to sit and reflect like this on the day. So, and I just find it really fascinating. Like all these years of playing guitars and reading forums to actually sit there and do the comparison. There's nothing like it. And then to make up your own opinion on this stuff. I mean, that's part of the reason why I do the YouTube channel, right? To try that stuff for myself and then report it to viewers. But I think it's something you have to do for yourself. And I do wish I could turn the clock back and do that stuff without knowing what I know now. I wish I was completely new to Martin, and Maury just said, here's an OMJM, what do you think? Here's OM42, what do you think? That's the real comparison. Will I read every comment? No, I know I didn't play the audio. I don't know why, because it says on the screen it was coming through, then it didn't. But then sometimes Sometimes there's bugs with this program I use, and sometimes it's user error. So let's just go with the bug thing for now. Oh, Bruce, that's mean. Stop by next week for the latest apology of technical mishaps. I tell you what, I'm not going to apologize for that next week. In fact, I'll go complete opposite. That was intentional. I was just playing a joke on you all. Now you've got to decide if that was true or not. Great. Well, could you hear the sound on the Johnny Cash? I guess you could. So David says he has two tone rights because he rotates them, so he keeps them all moving. Okay. The tone right, if you read forums, the tone right is a very highly discussed product. That's why I said I'd have to try it. Oh, Cookie Monster says, hey Maury, I just purchased the OMJM from you with the upgraded buffalo horn saddle. I'm excited to unbox that beauty. Hang on.
Thank you very much. Wait 24 hours.
Yeah, and send me pictures, please. And yes, wait 24 hours. It's really cold. Today it's like 22.
Thank you again.
So, very cold. Paul says, greetings from Montana. Good to see you. Old says the World War II guitar survived a war, but not Aaron and Maury's visit. Oh, come on, give us a break here. There was so much to do. David, so you're not afraid of overdoing them? They're discussing the tone right. Not at all. I don't run it on the highest setting. I run them about halfway. When Dick Boak ran the museum, he wanted the guitars to be played. Oh, there you go. He opened them up for us more than once. Okay. Martin switched from Corian to Bone in 2004 for the Vintage Series. Does your OM28 VR still has its Corian nut? What is the saddle material? Yeah, you've changed yours, haven't you, over the years?
Oh yeah, this is probably the third or fourth nut. This is bone nut. The saddle right now is bone. I've been back and forth from bone to ivory in the saddle, but now it's bone. I think the pins are fossilized walrus ivory, but the nut hasn't been Corian for a long time. I bet within the first couple of years that switched out.
Do bone nuts and saddles have to be replaced over the years? Saddles do, or pins do, right? But what about the nut? Like, do nuts on guitars break?
They'll wear the slots will actually wear down, and your action will become too low there. From every time you restring, it's like a saw.
Right.
Really, really gradual. It takes a long time, but yeah, you probably have to replace. I would think the nut and the saddle before the pins.
My Strat has like a yellowing on the nut, and it looks almost like it might just break off one day. I'm wondering if one day I'll be playing on stage and it will just break. I don't know. I think it's just cosmetic, but that was going through my mind. Alan, I'm not going to read that out, but my friends in Germany. Maury and his old crummy beat-up guitar. Poor dude. I know, right? He's got a guitar store and he's got the most beat-up guitar. What's that all about? Well, I guess he gets to play the new ones when he gets them in to inspect them. There we go. Metalhead Hippie, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for all you do for music community. And Jim just watched Lewis playing the guitar. Nice groove. And you should do Soundhole Sniffer feedback busters. I've thought about it. I've been looking for someone to do it. It makes total sense to make a cover for the Soundhole that says Soundhole Sniffer on it. Total sense. Someone else said years ago or a year ago about doing one that says Soundhole scent protector or something. That would be funny. They might be taking it too far. Like, will people understand that? I don't know. Do people understand it anyway? Probably not.
No.
Talking with each other. Here we go. Yes, you were right. Today's been the day of apologies and wrongdoings, like from Aaron Short. Don't record this episode, please. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, this whole thing of does this affect this? Does this affect this? Like I said, on those two guitars, yes, I don't know if it's that, but as there's not much else different, what else can I presume? The problem with acoustic guitars is they're made of wood, and wood is also different. There's always that to come back to, isn't it? Well, the wood's different. Okay, well. Yeah. But yes, I do much prefer my custom shop. Bill says, online ordering is screwed up. I ordered candy for my wife, and they just sent me a new guitar. I know, right? What's that all about? For Valentine's, you ordered candy, you got a guitar? Crazy. I'm okay, mate. Hang on. Brazilian rosewood sounds like mahogany. Yeah, right. Get out of here.
Who said that?
Kooky, of course, but I just know he's laughing while he types that. This is Kooky. He's like smiling to himself while he types. I know this guy. He even put a smiley face. There we go. Sorry. Oh, maybe authentic necks are huge because the lack of truss rod and the fear of Martin of seeing them all come back with twisted necks. Well, I think you've got a point there. I always assumed that the necks are fat on those guitars because there's no adjustable truss rod and it will make them more stable. And the authentic recreations do have a fat neck up at the 12th fret. But I'm just saying, why can't they have a thinner neck down at the open position? I mean, maybe there's some truth there. I'm sure in the old days that's why the necks were fat, right, Maury? They were fat because it gave them more stability. I'm sure. So,
Yeah, and I think I remember somebody, that day was a big fog, but I don't know if it was Jason or Skip that said back then, and this might have been off camera, they need some place to put the T-bar, so you can't have a neck that's too thin and mass that the bar would take up too much of it, so they have to have a housing to put a big rod in there. I don't remember part of the dare if it was, maybe it was a dream. But
yeah, but the actual guitar from 1937 has the T-bar, and yet it has a thinner neck down at the first fret.
Oh, yeah.
That's
that
my
doesn't make
point.
any sense then.
Right.
I got you.
I think they just modeled those guitars. Oh, yeah. Wake up, Maury. I think that they... hang on. I think that they... Are you awake now? I think that... Yes, I've got new sound effects. I think that's why the original guitars had it. And I am still trying to research why a lot of the authentics have the fat neck down there. I know some people like it. I think I talk about necks. I don't know. For me, I think it's a bit too much. I like I said, I'm confused because the one I played at Cardiff Vintage had a thin neck. I was so thin that I thought someone had gone there and sanded it down. But now I don't think they did. I think back then it depended on who was working that day. I think some had the thin neck, some had the fat neck. And it's just what they based on.
Probably.
So. Can't wait to hear the new 12 fret modern deluxe guitars. Says Olds.
Yeah.
And Cholarism says, I was surprised a few months ago when I played a Madagascar rosewood, Guatemala rosewood, and East Indian rosewood guitar. I prefer the sound of East Indian rosewood. The other guitars look cool. I agree with that. Some of those other woods look like Brazilian. They look fancy. But the East Indian is, they use that on the standard series. The Sitka and East Indian is a really tried and tested combination. That's why they use it. And I think it works great. The other woods to me are sometimes more cosmetic, which is fine too, of course. Some of the backs of these new guitars look amazing. But tone-wise, I mean, that's a comparison I've never actually done myself. But it's interesting you say that. I finally got a 0028 VS 2 weeks ago. I've wanted a 12 fret Martin for years. Then the day after I get it, Martin reissues the 0012 frets in the Modern Deluxe. The want never goes away. But also, I don't want to be a party pooper. Isn't that also similar to the guitar that was announced today? 0028 VS?
That's actually a long scale 0012 fret. So no.
Okay, good.
That's an awesome guitar.
But you're right. You're right. There's always new, and today is proof. But I had no idea there'd be a new model announced today. So I get up for my coffee, like, what? Another model? What's going on here? Isn't the Tone Right a rip-off of the Yamaha Atmosphere? No, that's a different product. You're thinking of the Tonewood Amp, which is a box that sticks on your guitar and then gives you effects. The Tone Right is a device that vibrates your guitar to simulate playing the guitar. They should make a new version where it also strums on the guitar and you can play it at a show and you haven't got to play the gig anymore because it plays the guitar for you. All right, best guitar for $400 to $600. I'm going to say the Yamaha. Really like it. I've got a review on my channel. What would you suggest from your shop, Maury, for $400 to $600? What's the best value, best sounding guitar for that price range?
I would say a Blue Ridge, a BR63 or BR43. But in full transparency, I'd love to put it up against the Yamaha because I hear a lot of good things about Yamaha from you and from a lot of people in emails. So I don't have enough knowledge about Yamaha to vote against that, but I would say a laminated Blue Ridge would definitely be a very, very good idea.
The Yamaha's about 300, which is, I've said before, their stuff is such a great deal. I think they've got such a huge factory and such massive resources at Yamaha that they just, and they've been doing it for so long. Like this, it's really, yeah. For me, that's kind of the gold standard. I tried the for electric guitars. I just tried the Harley Bentons, and that's great too. But I had to do quite a lot of adjustments to the Harley Benton. I had to polish the heck out of the frets, and I had to tighten the input jack as well, which is fine. Like that's all stuff that's doable. But it is more that you've got to do. With the Yamaha, I'm always looking for products I can recommend to people that are great out of the box. Because if you're new to the guitar, you might not want to have to polish the frets or fix the input jack. And the Yamaha stuff comes out of the box good to go. So that's why but you know, this is all subject to change over the months ahead. But that's the one I recommend now. Until I compare others. Still regret to have sold a Taylor PS10 Brazilian Rosewood, as I suffered cramps with that guitar after a few minutes. Still wonder if something like luthier could correct. Truth is, I love narrow necks. But it's interesting you say that, because we've got friends on here that say the thin necks give them cramps as well. So it's whatever works for you, I guess. Willis is an enabler. Buy yourself an authentic, Aaron. You've played for years and deserve it. Well, I will, but if I get an authentic, I'm going to have to sell my Dread, I think, and maybe a couple of electrics as well. So my plan, Willis, is to save up, and if I still like them as much by the end of the year, I'm going to get one in 2022, and we'll do a big video about it. That'll be an exciting time. Kookie says, Aaron, you forgot to play my video. Yeah, sorry, no videos this week, Kookie. We're over time. I knew we'd go over time. We did no playing on nothing today. We just spoke. I knew it would happen. So I have got viewers' comments coming up next few weeks. I've actually been sent 3 videos to play, but I just know I wouldn't have time today. So tune in next week. I'm not even sure if yours is next, Kookie. It may be. I've got one from Bunny Barnes, I've got one from Lee, and I got one from you, and I got one from someone else. I think I've actually got 4 viewers' comments. They all come at once, these viewers' comments.
Does that mean we're not going to see the Guitar Talk and Guitar Head for a month?
And sadly, that software is not working anymore with Ecamm Live. There's some kind of bug. So Guitar Head is actually officially retired until we get updates. Alan says the Yamaha. Kookie says the Eastman and Yamaha. I haven't played an Eastman. Jasper says, no, we don't agree that if we had the money, we would all go for Sinker wood. Don't know. I haven't played Sinker that much, Jasper, so I'm not sure. Eastman and Yamaha are hard to beat in that price range. Yeah, I mean, especially if you talk about $300, then yeah. I mean, that's crazy. You can even get a guitar for $300, isn't it? Really. Epiphone. Still so many brands I haven't played yet. Crazy. I haven't played an Epiphone acoustic, I don't think. Got to change the subject, but having a cloudless evening, and having the almost full snow moon shining in my windows is why I put up with -7 degrees. Well, that's awesome. It was snowing here yesterday. Alan, that's right. A video from Alan too. I got several, so yeah, I'll resume that next week.
Next week's all videos.
Yeah, Maury, you're off next week. We're just doing viewers' videos, okay? I was so blown away last week by an Eastman $300 to $400 PCH3 with solid top and Coca-Cola back and sides. Oh, laminated, yeah. I took it home. Awesome.
Wow.
Jasper wants to know before we go. Maury, do you agree that Sinker is the best sounding wood? No pressure.
I haven't played enough to even get near saying that. No, I wouldn't, but I've got very limited experience with Sinker. The times I've seen it come through here, I was amazed at the look, the sound. You have to appreciate when I see a Sinker wood guitar come through here from a custom shop, it's fulfilling somebody's custom order. I inspect it, take some photographs, and I play it to make sure it's okay. And it never stays here longer than that day. And it definitely doesn't stay here long enough for me to pull something else off the shelf and give it a good comparison. I'm always afraid to task somebody, hey, your custom is here, it's passed my inspection, it's ready to ship. Can I have it one more day? The one time I did ask somebody that, it wasn't a Sinker guitar, but I said, your guitar could ship today. Is there any opportunity you would let me have it for one more day to do a video and a comparison? And the guy politely said, No, I want it right now. And I said, hey, I would too. So I haven't played enough to really say so. I just haven't.
Me too. All I know about them is that George Groon loves it, and I do think he knows what he's talking about. So I'd love to try it more, but it's not something you see that often, right? Yeah, it's not something you see that often.
I would believe him.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily there's still many things to try, and that's definitely one of them. But I really can't have an opinion if I haven't played something. That's not fair, I don't think. Metalhead Hippie says, Maury, do you ship to Alaska via FedEx?
Yes.
And I must thank you again. Even with plus $4,000 guitars, piezo's on stage sound horrible. The voice print DI is a great pedal to make good guitars sound great, and feedback is cut with narrow frequencies. Well, I'm glad I could help you, and there will be more pickup stuff coming in the future, I'm sure, so stay tuned. And I'm interested to see what Bags do with that pedal as well. The last thing I heard, they're still working on the Android version. So once they've got the Android version, hopefully they'll then do other stuff, and we'll see. But yeah, I'm glad. Like I said, when you hear a pickup, you hear the pickup, not the guitar. Unless there's a microphone in the guitar. So the voice print, I guess, is copying more of the outside sound. So I'm glad that's working for you. Has anyone tried the Custom Shop D28 1937? Sounds like an authentic with adjustable truss rod. That's right, Michael. They make versions now of the authentic 37 that are custom ordered by some stores, and they have things like adjustable truss rods and different neck shapes, etc. For me, I think that's cool if that's what you want. I think if I'm going to get an authentic, I think I want to go the whole way and get the authentic as close as I can to the thing. But if you want those specs with like the adjustable truss rod, for example, you can get it, and it's a bit cheaper too. I haven't played one of those because they're only at certain dealers, and I haven't been to any dealers lately. So I don't know if anyone in the chat has played them. Yeah, I'm not sure. And Maury, you don't have those, right?
No, we're not part of that program, and I've heard nothing but great things about them, but I haven't played one.
Yeah, I might play one and prefer it. I haven't played one, but my thought is if I'm going to get an authentic, I want to get an authentic. So that's just me. I'm writing a song. That's awesome. Just got an Alvarez. That's right. I want to try those as well. The Alvarez. I never played one of those. Richard, good to see you. Well, we need to wrap up because it's Valentine's and Maury has to go home and prepare a meal. Right, Maury? I mean, order a pizza.
Like that. I have to go home. I know that, but I'm not sure I'm cooking.
Please have a look at JP Corrimer channel. Not promoting, but very informative. Best Canadian guitarist. Maury must know him. Do you know JP Cormier? If I'm saying it correctly.
I don't remember. I don't think so, but I'll look that up. Thank you.
I don't mind you promoting. At the end of the day, I like sharing information. Jasper's sent me a few songs in the past that I really enjoyed. It's absolutely fine. You know, this YouTube thing is big enough for everybody at the end of the day. So it's good. Maury, any D35 Johnny Cash models in your inventory? Ever played it? You don't have any, right? You said you would your site said you were getting one very soon. What, is that coming in?
That for some reason, that model and one other one that aren't related at all are just consistently and constantly pushed back and pushed back. We have been told every month we've been getting delays on the Cash, and it's something else, but I'm not sure what part of that guitar is hard to source, or there's something wrong about that instrument that keeps being delayed. It was overdue. We were supposed to get that in August and again in December, and now we're the answer's no, and I don't know when we're going to see it.
I think I know the reason.
You did it. You know you did it. You killed both of them. You're fired. Get out of here. Ah! You're crazy. Get him out of here.
No.
What's the matter with you?
No, the guitar.
That's what it is.
Did you hear that hit the ground?
What's the matter
Boom.
with you?
Okay, we have to go. We'll continue this next time. I do encourage all these comments on guitars. I like to learn from you all, and as I hope you can learn something from me. I want to thank Maury for helping with Maury did all the filming and sound last week, so thanks for doing that, Maury. And we have more videos to come. We still have the authentic comparisons. We have a chat from Robert about how he did the models at the museum. We still have some other B-roll. So we're going to post some more stuff. And then, of course, lots more to talk about. So we're going to say goodbye. Thanks for joining us today. It's been awesome. Thank you for all the super chats this week. I really do appreciate it. This week, I've got Gear Chat Wednesday. I've got the lesson on Saturday. I've got the concert on Sunday. Maury's doing live streams. Best thing you can do is to subscribe to Maury's music on YouTube and ring the bell. And subscribe to Aaron Short Music on YouTube and ring the bell. And you get a notification when we do anything like this. Make sure you do it on both channels, because if you're watching on Maury or my channel, we're both streaming at the same time. So please subscribe to both channels. Please tell your friends about what we're doing, because that's the best way you can help as well, is to spread the word and get some more viewers. And that's obviously good to do. So I'm going to wrap things up. I see some new names in the chat. It's great to have you here, and I hope to see you again soon. Maury, have a great week. Happy Valentine's, and I'll see you all soon. Can you just play us out? I feel like we didn't play any guitar today. Just play us out, please. And I'll see you all next time.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, happy Valentine's. Play some romantic chords, please. Romantic major sevens. Here we go.
Great point.
Ooh, so romantic. It's just like I'm actually at one of my own gigs. Thank you, Maury. I'll see you all next time. Have a great Valentine's. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.